Hi, Stana. Welcome to Greece, first of all.
Hi, Joanna.
What I wanted to ask you first is, as I understand, among many other things, you have studied international law.
Yes.
So my question is, on one hand, what made you become an actress in the end, after all?
Yeah.
And on the other, is studying international law one of the reasons that attracted you to Kate Beckett, your character in Castle, who is a law person and has a very high sense of what's right and what's ethical?
I was always involved with theater and film and so on. So studying international relations and pre-law was something that I enjoyed and loved doing, but I chose this path because it was perhaps a greater passion. And then as to whether international relations and studying it has helped me in choosing Kate Beckett or in creating the character, I think that as an actor, you kind of use from everything in your history and experience base. And so, there's elements of that kind of dialogue that perhaps comes up. But I don't know that that's the exclusive source. I mean, she's driven by so many things. She's driven by a really strong sense of justice. She's driven by a really wonderful large heart, I think. So, you kind of draw from a lot of different things, and the writers create, and it's a collaboration to put that kind of a character together and tell that story.
In my mind, Castle is, in a way, echoing the X-Files. Which is one of my favorites, and it's a TV classic.
Yes.
Actually, it's like the X-Files without the metaphysical.
Yes.
And Castle and Beckett your character is the realist, while Castle is the believer and a little bit more, looking for the extreme explanation.
Yes.
Do you see that in a way, and how does it make you feel?
I'm sure that there are parallels in the X-Files and Castle. Some of the same people that created the X-Files are a part of
Rob Bowman, one
Castle.
of your executive producers.
Yes. And then I also think that there's a unique element to Castle that makes it appealing in its own way.
Yeah.
I think that there are opportunities, perhaps, that Kate Beckett has that maybe Scully didn't necessarily have in their storyline. So there's definitely a similarity, but I don't think that they're an identical kind of play on each other.
No. In what ways do you think Beckett has more opportunities than Scully did?
Well, I think that in some ways, the sense of humor in the story is a little different, and so you get to see that in the characters throughout the whole series. So not just in Beckett, but in Esposito, in Ryan, and the list goes on. Yeah.
It's funny that you said humor, because that was one of my questions, because Castle is considered to be a drama series, but in fact has a wicked sense of humor, and your timing with everyone, especially Nathan Fillion, it's excellent, your comic timing.
Yes.
And I was wondering how much that is scripted and how much if you improvise at all.
A lot of it's scripted, actually. Andrew Marlowe is, in some ways, a version of Castle. He's very witty, and he's very quick. And the writers, of course, write a lot of it in. And, they always leave room in case the actors have an idea. And, we have a really wonderful kind of group of actors and directors that come to the show and try to build as much as possible. Once again, it's a collaboration. But if we don't have enough of it on the script, on the page, then it's difficult to kind of elevate it from there. So we start with a great foundation, and that's thanks to the writers.
You seem to have a lot of fun during shooting.
Yes.
And I was wondering how is it working with everyone, and especially Nathan Fillion, who's who is enjoying somewhat of a cult status among TV fans because of his collaborations with Joss Whedon, who is a big, cult nerd creator.
Right.
And I was wondering how do you have so much fun as we feel watching the show?
I think that if you are getting a sense of fun, then you can only get it from some honest moments that are happening on screen. We work a lot of hours, so sometimes, it truly is like, okay, let's just get this done. But in spite of that, it has to be enjoyable. Otherwise, it's no good going to work every day, especially when you're there for that long every day. So there's always moments of goofiness, there's always moments just to keep it loose and stuff. And someone always plays, a joke or is silly in some way, And we're not robots, so we have to kind of keep it loose and have fun, yeah.
How easy it is to move from the dramatic moments of the show to the comic ones?
Yeah, that's interesting. Because the show rides on a few different kind of lines of storytelling. So sometimes it is a funnier, more comedic episode. Sometimes it is a more dramatic episode. And that's an interesting kind of play because it sometimes feels like it's you have to know ahead of time. Okay, so what's the world that we're all living in? Is it a heightened reality, and are we allowed to have more fun and seek out the funny moments? But this is also one of those programs that, even though you are in the dramatic, they want sometimes to pull out a moment of irony or a moment of fun in that. And even though you are in the comedic, you always have to kind of seek the heart out, the truth in it. So although we ride both sides of that line, we have to draw from, both the dramatic and the comedic in the opposing stories.
I think that the last episode of this season, the current season, the sixth season, it's very interesting because most of the episode is comedic, and then it has a very dramatic ending. I think it's the most dramatic since season 4 when you got shot, I think.
Okay.
I'm not. I remember that you got shot. I'm not sure about season 4. Can you give us any hints for the next, without spoilers, for the next season, and if Castle's dad has anything to do with everything that's going on?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I really don't know. Everyone's asking. I really don't know. Andrew Marlowe has not told me. I don't know what's happening. I'm with you guys. So I think when I show up to work in the middle of July, I'll find out, because I think that's when we'll probably get scripts. But for right now, I have no idea. Like, the ending surprised me as well.
Last season, well, during the 6th season, you had your highest ratings, I think.
Yes.
And also you won, I don't know if it's for the 6th season or the 5th, but in 2014 you won in People's Choice Award Best TV Dramatic Actress. How do you feel about that?
It was amazing. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. I was honored. I didn't know that, I was grateful that people like what I'm doing. So sweet, and I'm blown away still. Yeah.
Is the love and admiration of your fans important to you?
I think that I'm grateful that people enjoy what I'm doing. Sometimes I feel a little awkward saying the word fans, because I think that creates kind of like a concept of difference. I'm just an actor who's doing a job, and if people are enjoying it and want to see it, then I'm a very lucky actor who's doing a job.
I think your parents, if I'm not mistaken, your parents are Serbs.
They're from the Dalmatian coast, and they're Serbs from Croatia, yes.
Yes, they're Serbs from Croatia, and you were born in Canada, and grew up in Chicago.
Yes.
And you speak 5 languages or something?
I speak a few, yeah.
And you read a lot, I think. So you seem to me like this is, it's very suitable to someone who's an actor. So you get a lot of multicultural and multi-ethnic experience.
Yes.
And you seem like a citizen of the world.
Yes.
How much, from what point, and how much that was a conscious choice?
You mean for me?
Yes.
I don't know if it was ever a conscious choice. I think that my family has traveled, and they've always encouraged studying other languages. And I think that's a part of the reality when you come from a family that's has a European background, because this is such a multicultural part of the world, and it's not difficult to travel an hour and to land in a place that speaks a different language and has totally different kind of traditions. So everyone knew that if you spoke a few languages, that would open up other opportunities and doors. And you know, we spent summers in Europe, and that exposes you to a certain lifestyle that keeps you open to continuing that, you know.
Would you like to tell me a little bit about your alternative travel plan, and what was your motives behind creating it 4 years ago, I think?
Yes. I started the Alternative Travel Project 4 years ago, and it's an initiative that aims at getting people outside of the bubble of their cars, whether it's by traveling by bicycle or by walking or public transit. And the goal there is really to make a different choice just for one day. Yeah. And if by making that one choice in a day, we can improve the environment, improve our local economies and our social experiences, or even our own health, then that's a benefit that's worth looking forward to. So I volunteer days without a car, car-free days, and people have also internationally, and it's been really interesting to hear stories from across the globe of people who said, I've gone car-free for, you know, a month, or for 7 days, or for even 1 day, and hearing about their experiences and about kind of the wonderful world that's opening up in front of them when they do kind of step out of the bubble of a car.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So people from Greece can go in your site and check it out. And
it's the alternativetravelproject.com.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.